As a second grader, I remember feeling God's tug on my heart, and I gave my life to Him. I was so excited and shared with all my friends the next day at school. A few months later, there were circumstances that left my family searching. We were in and out of churches for the next 6 years, trying to find where we belonged. The fall of my 9th grade year, we found that place. We had been visiting a church across town, and within a month had joined. My family was very involved in every aspect of the church. My sister was saved, and we were baptized together on a Sunday night in October. I was so happy and loved being part of a church family. The minister of music took interest in me and found out about my love for music and offered to give me voice lessons, which I eagerly encouraged my mom to let me do. I turned 15 in February, and then in March, my world came crashing around me. For the next 6 months, I experienced things that no teenager should ever have to go through, especially in a church setting. Inappropriate things were said and done during voice lessons and at other times in the church. I was scared, ashamed, and embarrassed. This had to be my fault. He was the minister, the man called by God, so I stayed silent. I began avoiding him, and in return, he began ignoring me, which was such a relief. For the next 2 years, I remained silent. I went from an outgoing, talkative, always smiling girl to a withdrawn teenager who had trust issues, and to this day still has so much trouble opening up and sharing my feelings. So 2 years later, the summer before my senior year in high school, I went to my youth director and his wife and told them everything. Here is where I feel the church, God's people, failed me. No one ever talked to me about what had happened. The music minister was able to resign without ever saying anything. He left to go to seminary and then continued moving from church to church until last year. No one ever told me that it wasn't my fault, that I did nothing wrong. Their silence screamed that I had caused everything that had happened to me. For about 25 years, I had carried guilt and shame that began to turn to bitterness. When our SBC family went through the tragedy we did in 2009, I relived my pain all over again. How could another minister, someone I trusted and respected so much, who I thought was such a godly man, live the life he did and hurt so many people? The pain from sexual abuse is so deep, and it affects every aspect of your life and every relationship. When you see it happen to someone else, you relive your pain all over again. In 2013, Steve and I were able to go on choir tour with our son Tyler. That summer at camp, Clay spoke on Psalm 63, which was a psalm of David when he was in the wilderness. "O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water." That was me. I had carried that guilt and shame, and the bitterness was separating me from what God had for my life. Now, I didn't blame God or feel God had left me, but that night I was broken, and God took the dirtiness that I felt, and His mercy washed me clean. Now, there are still times today that I struggle, and there aren't too many times that I don't think about what's happened. But I know now that God is continuing to heal my brokenness, and He will use my pain and experience to help someone else. Our Southern Baptist churches have to take a stand for those who have been victims. We have to be the light in the darkness and protect and love those who have been abused and hold those accountable who have hurt them. We have to get this right for our churches to be a safe place for the lost.